Have you ever wondered what it'd be like if your name was on that flight list? No? Me neither. Hello everyone, my name is Dumbways Takai and welcome back to another installment of the worst survival game ever. A series where I'm going to do my absolute best to play every survival game in the hopes of finding the worst one, and by God I think we've done it. I'm only a few meager videos into this series and I truly believe I have found the worst survival game ever, if by nothing else its title alone. Coming in at £6.80, this game will cost you just shy of 2 Tesco meal deals, and honestly I would much rather have had the sandwich. For those of you who've been living under a rock for the last few years, Jeffrey Epstein owned an island where he would invite a plethora of celebrities and high-ranking individuals for parties and other activities I'd rather not utter here, but they include, and are definitely not limited to, human trafficking. That ended with Jeffrey in prison and ultimately and allegedly kicking his own bucket, so why anyone would make a game based off this horrendous place is beyond me. Unlike many celebrities, not once did I wonder what it would be like to gallivant on that island with my friends, but regardless of absolutely no one asking for this, game developer Galaxyverse, creator of other gems such as MMORPG G-Verse and multiplayer battle experience Versus, has created this very questionable survival experience for you to enjoy. Survive a mysterious island and thwart the sinister plans of Jeffrey in Epstein. Battle the blood-dependent Morbiders and forge alliances with other survivors to confront Jeffrey in his grand temple. Master survival tactics and strategic gameplay in this intense adventure. They really woke up one day and said, I'm going to make the most cursed survival game ever released. This is the developer equivalent of letting your intrusive thoughts win. Anyway, without further ado, let's see what Epstein's Island has to offer. Jesus, that is a sentence I never thought would leave my mouth. Before we even start the game, you can see the cover photo was made with AI. Already we're off to a cracking start. The title screen is nothing to write home about, clearly made with Unreal Engine assets lacking any sort of substance, and the various options are written in a really childish style font and wait a minute. Is that a Simpsons font? Or at least something insanely similar? Any font heads out there, comment below and tell me what that is, because yeah, that looks very much like the Simpsons font. Character creation allows you to put points in a few different stats, and you can change your hair colour choosing between 5 different shades of brown. We love a bit of variety. The game starts you in a house with some weird glowing writing on the wall in an unknown language, and as standard for most survival games, we're tasked with creating a hatchet. This quest line is aptly named Quest Epstein. Making my way downstairs, I noticed some writing from the developers plastered on the wall apologising that there's no Pokemon in this game. I can guarantee you that not for a second did I wonder whether this game would feature any Pokemon. In the adjacent room there's a glowing altar with a stone slab placed in it, this being another note from the developer giving a brief rundown explanation of the game. All this developer talk is really making me lose immersion. I don't feel like I'm on Epstein's Island at all. Making my way outside, I opened the chest that contained a hatchet and a pickaxe, making my first task of Quest Epstein completely redundant, but honestly, I'm not going to hold this game to any real standard. The bar here is extremely low. Seeing another random out-of-place asset next to the bridge, I investigated it to find that it was a huge industrial fan. Because of course it is. Never mind the boats dotted around, let's just launch you across the sea into Epstein's Island. Rumour has it that's how Stephen Hawking arrived there. Flying through the air, I was greeted with the words, "Welcome to Epstein Island, not Pokemon," with the latter half of the last words hidden behind the minimap. Who needs to polish a turd anyway? I'm not sure at all why Pokemon keeps getting mentioned, other than it might be a weird unrelated dig at the recent Palworld discourse, but I'm not going to think about it too hard. It's clear nothing about this game is taking itself seriously. My first kill of the game was a chicken that didn't seem bothered at all by the fact it was about to die, and if I didn't know any better, I'd say it wanted to die but didn't want to kill itself. At least some things here are on theme. And annoyingly but unsurprisingly, the reticle doesn't actually dictate where you're going to hit, and hitbox detection is all over the place. This is going to be fun. This really is just another Unreal Engine asset flip. I'm not even sure this game has anything to do with Epstein's Island in the slightest. Exploring a bit more and seeing what other things I could kill, I noticed sharks had an immunity to my arrows. Upon further inspection, I realised that they're merely decorative sharks, paying zero attention to me or anything and just swimming around the equally useless boats, adding absolutely nothing to the game besides background visuals. A bit more exploring and I found a brief synopsis of the game, and I'll allow you to pause and read that at your own leisure because I don't want to spend any more time reading about this game than I need to. Before long, I came across my first mob, and it's called Mini Have King. I'm going to assume that that's a purposeful typo, and oh my god, they don't even have a walking animation. Dev, what were you thinking? Why did you create this? These mobs die in one hit and are apparently clones of a main Hawking. Oh boy, I cannot wait to meet him. Walking up to a random house, I hit a pressure plate and an explosion went off inside, for absolutely no reason, and continued to do so every time I stood on the pressure plate. I guess is the game's equivalent of random encounters, or at least a poor attempt at them anyway. The second NPC I came across was an angry skeleton that, like the sharks, was invulnerable to my arrows. But it turns out this usually aggressive character model is a trader called Seedsman. And what does Seedsman sell, you ask? seeds. I stumbled across two more mobs called Strange Donald and MJ. MJ didn't take too kindly to me attacking him and he finished me off pretty quickly. I respawned back at the original house with none of my stuff, and walking back to the place I died, it appears my stuff is gone for good. That's gonna get annoying really quick, but I did find out that MJ won't attack me unless provoked and will actually help me if I speak to them. Also discovering they're self-aware NPCs. Dev, why would you give them this level of sentience? What weird level of hell have you subjected them to? Also, the voice acting? Assuming this is all the dev is just an interesting choice to put in, to say the least. Found another angry skeleton. This one's a blacksmith. I've got to say, it's a pretty weird choice using this character model for traders, but honestly, I'm done questioning any decision made for this game, and I'm going to stop assuming any actual thought went into it and try and play it for what it is, a bad survival game. Look, I played this for a good couple of hours, roaming around, built myself a little hut with its really bad building system, found small and weirdly pointless puzzles that opened up temple assets with a single chest full of random crap in, got tasked with killing the first boss, Clinton, died over and over and over again because the hitbox detection is basically non-existent and enemy arrows pinpoint you like targeted hellfire missiles no matter how quickly you move. And you know what? There was actually a point in the game where I forgot this was meant to be about Epstein, because to be completely honest, the whole Epstein trope feels like an edgy ploy to get meme sales, and I guess in that aspect it has kind of worked for its time on Steam, which I can't imagine is going to be very long. You could honestly take all the Epstein references out of this and it would still be a semi-playable survival game. Still a really bad one, but at least there wouldn't be any underlying themes of human trafficking. There is also a multiplayer aspect to this game, but I promised you I couldn't convince a single one of my friends to play an Epstein-themed survival game, and honestly, I don't blame them. I was going to try and make a full video on this, but the reason it's so short is I just really didn't want to waste any more of my Friday night on this, more than I already had, and I wanted to get back to work on the actual next installment in this series, so look forward to that one because it's a game I love very much. All in all, this game is just an Unreal Engine asset-crammed mess that was hastily put together for the sake of a meme and absolutely no way should be charging anyone any money to play it. It's another borderline scam that won't be on the Steam list for much longer, I can imagine, and if it does suddenly disappear, just know it didn't do it itself. Thanks so much for watching, guys. My name's Dumbwasterkai, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next actual installment of the worst survival game ever. Goodbye for now.